We are going to continue clicking on an element and moving to the next screen. So for that, come back to Android Studio and create a new activity. This new activity is going to be called Web Activity. And the only thing that this activity is going to have on the view is going to be a web view. So a web view with field parent and field parent. And the ID can be web view. Okay. Now when we go to our web activity, we just need to remove the menu and we are ready to start writing code in the onCreate. So the first thing that we are going to do is declare a variable for our web view. So web view equals find view by ID web view. And we need a casting. Okay. We are going to start with a basic example which is showing the URL from the post in this web view before going into more options. So first, what we are going to do is when we click on the link in main activity, we are going to remove this. And what we are going to do is create a new intent. Web intent equals new intent. And we are going to go from main activity to web activity. Okay, so to this intent we are going to put an extra, which is the URL. That way we are going to send the link to the website. So the key is going to be URL and the extra is going to be the item click dot get link. Now we just start the activity. Okay, so then when we start web activity, we have to retrieve that intent. So the link is going to come from get extras, get intent, dot get extras, dot get string extra, URL. Now we can say WebView load URL link, and we test this. We are going to need some more params to configure this, okay? Because some websites they don't look okay the first time that you load them in a web view. So you need to use more params to set the width, set the JavaScript, set properties on the web. The first thing that we can notice is that it's not loading. So we are going to set a debug point here to see what's happening. So we click on an object again, and we see the link here. So the link, as we can see, is missing the first part. It's missing the http reddit.com. So for every link, we are going to add here manually reddit.com plus link. Now we can launch the app again and see if it loads the right URL. This time when we click on an element, we can see the WebView loading. But there are still some more tweaks that we can do to make this look better. So go back to Android Studio. One of the first things that we can do on our website is get the web settings. So web settings is equals my WebView get settings. So one of the options that we can activate here is, for example, the JavaScript. It's good to have the JavaScript activated so all the website load properly. Another property that we can have is web settings set load with overview mode. This is basically that loads the web view completely zoom out. And another option which is web settings set use wide viewport true. This is basically that the web view is going to use the whole viewport like in a desktop browser, and it's not going to resize to the width of our small screen. So now we have the desktop web view and zoom out with JavaScript enabled. Let's try again. Okay, this is better. We can see the whole web view. Now, more things that we need to change. For example, if I click a link here, this is taking an Android web view. It's taking an external browser. But I don't want to see this on an external browser. I want to keep loading the link in my application. So what do I need to do? In my web view, I need to set a new web view client. And I need to set a new web view client. This web view client, by adding these brackets here, I can override method of this class. So this web view client is going to have a method different, which is override and should override URL loading. So we are going to modify this method. Method is, so what we are going to say here is that we want to override the loading. So we are always going to return true here. And then we are going to load the URL in the same web view that we are using. So basically load the link that we have clicked in the same web view. Don't go to an external browser. We click on an element, and after that we click on a link. And we see how the link is loaded inside the same web view. Okay, next problem. When we click on back, we are closing the whole activity. But when I click on back, I want to navigate back on the web view. So what are we going to do here? There is one method in the activity which will detect the press of the back key, which is override on key down. Okay, so basically this method is called every time that we press any key. What we have to do is very easy. We have to detect if the user has pressed back. If the user has pressed back and the web view can go back, there is page on the history, then go back. If not, just return the event as you are doing normally. So we need to access our web view from this method. At the moment, our web view is a private variable on our create. So for that, we are going to create a member variable here, WebView and WebView, and we are going to say that this and WebView is our WebView. This way we can access here to our WebView. So now we are ready to ask if the key code, if the key press is back and our WebView can go back, then and WebView go back and return true because we have consumed this event of the key. This is our final tweak for the WebView. Let's test it. Perfect. Now click on back and I go back, click on back and I close the activity. Perfect. One thing that I don't like yet is that when we are loading the web view, we just show a white screen. There is no progress indicator. So for that, we can show a progress bar and hide it when the web view has loaded. How do we know when the web view has loaded? So same as here, same as when we know when are we opening an external link, we know when the web view has loaded. So generate override method, and there is one method called onPageFinish, which will basically tell us when the page finish loading. So if we go to our activity web and we put here a progress bar, just a basic progress bar, wrap content, centering parent true, okay, and we put one ID, one basic ID, WebView progress bar. Now when the WebView finish loading, what we do is find this progress bar and set the visibility to gone. So let's test it. We are supposed to see a progress bar loading, and when the page finish load, it will disappear. Perfect. So with this, we have finished our web view.